Anthony, we're a week in. How's it been for you?
It's been really good. The weather's obviously been a bit up and down, but no, the rocks we're looking at are interesting, and everyone seems nice, so I'm having a good time.
Alright, you're our rock man, you're a geologist.
Yeah.
You are out there to really help us understand what's happening in the environments that we're finding these fishes and help us find more, potentially. So,
Yeah.
What is happening out there geologically? What kinds of environments are we finding these fossils in?
So, we're seeing everything from just out in front of the reef all the way back to the tidal flats. So we're seeing the kind of more skeletal coral, sponge type things which make up the main barrier reefs. Then we're seeing the quieter environments behind that, the lagoonal type stuff, where you're seeing lots of shelly fossils, you're seeing gastropods, you're seeing bivalves, you're seeing brachiopods, it's like that. And then you're getting into things that are occasionally getting exposed underneath the air. So like your beach type things, muddy beaches, and you can see that from mud cracks, and you can see some burrows on them as well, which help you tell that. Most of the fossil stuff seems to be coming from some like coarser grained debris type things. So where you're getting broken up bits of crinoid, the sea lilies that have been talked about. And these are spread throughout the lagoonal stuff and on top of the reef deposits as well.
Right, so you're a bit of a specialist in ichnology or trace fossils. What can you tell us about the environments based on the past activity of life in the sediments?
So the best indication for environments generally comes from groups of trace fossils that you see together. So they're known as ichnofacies. And where you see different types of behaviour all happening in the same place, that can tell you about what type of environment it was in. For example, deep sea stuff, you tend to see lots of animals that are burrowing down and feeding on the sediment. Whereas in some of the things that we've been looking at, so the tidal flat type stuff, you see burrows of animals that are trying to avoid drying out, because it's around about the first time when arthropods are moving onto the land. So that happened in kind of late Silurian, early Devonian, when things properly became terrestrial. So animals still don't like being dry all the time. So when you're in the tidal flats where they're sometimes wet, sometimes dry, when they're dry, animals want to stay wet.
Okay, and how much of a problem has weathering been in our quest to find fossils?
Oh, don't even. The weathering has been horrible. There's some good outcrop, but there's very little in the way of bedding planes, and the rock faces themselves are all pretty weathered. But the surfaces everywhere are covered in scree or talus. So we've been able to pick through that a little bit, but it's hard to get a good idea of exactly where the fossils are coming from within the section. And I've been trying to locate beds and going around with Martin measuring up sections to try and work out exactly where the fossils are coming from. But most of the time things are just coming out loose in the talus, and we're trying to piece it together later.
Why is it important to get the fossil, which we're here to find? We're here to find the fossil, but why is it important to be able to match the block of rock that the fossil's in to the cliff from where it would have come from?
So part of the question isn't just what the animals are, it's where they're living. So if you can match it up to the cliff section, you can get a much better idea about the environment that the animals were living in. Whereas if you've got a fist-sized lump, there's not very much you can tell about the depositional environment from that.
Okay, and in general, camp life for you, how's it been?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a bit cold in the mornings, but once we all get up to the cook tent and get the coffee on, it's amazing how much it kickstarts your day, having one of Martin's extra strong coffees and some of Emma's porridge. Camp life's been good. I'm really enjoying it.
You also know your way around the kitchen, though. How have you found the facilities here? How hard has it been to cook in the Arctic?
It's not too bad. We've got 4 gas hobs available, so you can have a few pans going at the same time, which means that we've been able to do meat and veggie options when we had meat left. Sadly, now all the fresh meat's gone because we're a week in. But
is that just because we had loads and loads of meat straight away?
Yeah. Well, we had to make the most of eating it before it all went off. So, and I think we just about managed that. Like, everyone seems to have survived last night's spaghetti bolognese. So.
Did you have any mishaps?
No, there have been no major mishaps in the kitchen. Sometimes a bit too much salt might have got into a dish occasionally, but other than that.
Still got all your fingers?
I might have chopped off my thumb off cutting an onion, but that's all fine. I'm just a little bit incompetent.
I mean, it's a bit of a worry getting your finger cut. I mean, were you thinking that it might be bad enough that you would have to actually leave the expedition and go and get treatment? Like, if you had needed a stitch, or if you got that infected, did that come into your mind?
I just plunged it into one of the buckets of snow we've got sitting around and hoped the bleeding would stop soon, and it was all good. I'm glad that it wasn't more serious, because that would be a really stupid way to have to get taken out of the Arctic. If you're chopping an onion, then... But, no, it was all good. It's, just a small cut, so...
And for our listeners, can you explain what's happening inside of the tent and why I'm going to have to put my camera away now?
It's now... Are we getting some snow inside the tent, I think? Yeah. Because the wind is so strong, it kind of snows horizontally. So it manages to get into the air vent on the top of the tent. So it's now snowing all over Dave. So, yeah.
Joke's on you. No, you finish it. Take your time.
No, all good.
Me and the audience, we'll just sit here and listen. We'll take it.
Yep. Well, hope they enjoy eating sounds.
Paying us for that. You should pixelate that. Unless they want to sponsor the next expedition.
Hey, never know.
Yeah.
Mountain Hardware. You're listening.
I'd have to flip the video though.